मैं अब भी डरते डरते अपने हक की बात करती हूँ। मैं अब भी डरते डरते अपने हक की बात करती हूँ। मेरी तालीम में डर का बड़ा हिस्सा रहा होगा। मेरी तालीम में डर का बड़ा हिस्सा रहा होगा। A very good morning to one and all present here. I, Devanshi Jain from Karnavati University, is very pleased to share the platform with the dignitaries on and off the dais, and I wholeheartedly extend my gratitude to one and all present here. Today, I'm here to present my views on the newly implemented education policy introduced in the year 2020. Now, there have been few policies in Indian history with its sweep and depth. One parallel is the first national education policy that emerged from the Kothari Commission in 1968. 10 years after that policy was approved by the government, J.P. Nayak, who was member secretary of Kothari panel, wrote a book, Education Commission and After. J.P. Nayak, a much revered figure in the field, wrote it as a reflection on what got done and what did not in those first 10 years. There are inherent problems in our current education system, and some complaints will remain common across generations. They will transcend vintages. One, for example, our education does not get us job. Second, that too much of what we study in school and colleges is irrelevant to our life. We also know that time and again, popular culture has made fun of these things. I remember from early 60s, there was a song from a film called Unpad, and the song goes, सिकंदर ने पोरस से जो की थी लड़ाई, तो मैं क्या करूं? तो कौरव ने पांडव से की हाथापाई, तो मैं क्या करूं? It basically depicts that something happened between somebody 300 BC or whatever, and now how is it relevant to me going ahead in life? There's another song, which was Gulzar Saab's famous song from his first film Mere Apne, which was in 1970, the peak of 1960 and 70, when in India unemployment was at its peak. The movie, the film, was also about unemployed educated youth. And the song was, हाल चाल ठीक ठाक है, सब कुछ ठीक ठाक है. And then it goes on, BA किया, MA किया, लगता है वो भी MA किया. काम नहीं है, वरना यहाँ आपकी दुआ से सब ठीक ठाक है. That means I've studied hard and got so many degrees. However, I don't know what to do with them because I don't have a job. Now we also know that our education system is too exam-centric, like a game of Russian roulette. If things go for you on the day of the final exam, it is like shooting the empty chamber and you survive. But if anything goes wrong, it would be like shooting yourself in the head. The other question or problem that we come across, and as Swamiji also pointed out in his speech yesterday, what exactly is education? Does our education system focuses on quality education? Will it focus on purity and morality? If yes, then what good did Osama do even after being educated? There are some of the common complaints with the education system which this new education policy has tried to address. The new education policy 2020 is truly transformative. The latest education policy not only aims to transform the basic architecture and the latest culture, but also the approach of Indian education, not by jettisoning the past, but by building on the good parts of it, while squarely confronting the bad. Undoubtedly, the new education policy 2020 will leave a deep imprint on India over the long term. Now, let me list a few of the most important changes that have been made in the new education policy. First, the NEP's comprehensive and systematic response to tackle the problems of basic literacy and numeracy in Indian schools that existed even before the pandemic offers us exactly the platform we require to address the COVID-triggered learning crisis. Not to forget the bold vision of a new national curriculum framework intended to develop real capacities, nurture the dispositions of good and engaged citizens, and develop constitutional values in our children, while being less burdensome and moving away from rote learning, is exactly what is needed in the time of learning crisis. The complete redesign of the very approach to education in classes 9 to 12 that the policy has could be placed at the core of enabling children who are in higher classes to graduate from school without any learning deficit. This would include a fundamental reimagination of how board examinations are conducted and why they should be assessing, then extended the right of education from 3 to 18 years of age, and providing for the use of regional or local languages, or as a medium of instruction up to class 5 in schools, allowing them to speak in their mother languages. However, the same should not undermine the value of teaching English in schools, because we cannot have a generation of children who are not able to do business in English language. The major problem with our education system is insularity. A student gets typecast for life based on the subject they choose in school, and the future course of life is decided by that one choice. For example, if a student studies physics, chemistry, or mathematics, they'll go on to become an engineer. And if a person or a student is not good at math, they study biology and go on to become a doctor. That is a tag they carry for the rest of their life. However, the current policy aims to solve this by allowing students to mix-match the subjects in school and colleges. Lastly, the education policy's overall thrust to empower and trust teachers and to grant academic autonomy to institutions is just the kind of effort that is required on the ground for us to respond with adaptiveness and flexibility. Given the nature of learning losses, which vary not only across classes, but importantly across children in same class. As can be expected, states are at different levels of understanding and implementing the new education policy. It would do all our children a world of good if, irrespective of political differences with the union government, states were to grab the new education policy 2020 and implement it energetically. In the long term, this will be transformative for our education system, while also providing an immediate engine that can help us deal with the learning loss crisis that has engulfed our children. Thank you so much.